guys, picking up where I left off in my last video for the beginners how to do the corner stitch. I'm now going to continue on to show you how to build a straight line to do my side to side, corner to corner, join as you go method. I left off, we slip stitched all the way across into the chain 3 space there, and I told you not to cut and tie your yarn, and this is why. You're going to now chain 6, and then you're going to make you the first block of your second square, just like that. And it looks like that. You're going to turn your work over, and then in this space right here, you're going to slip stitch that block into that space. Okay, now you're going to chain 3 and then slip stitch over into this space. And then chain 3, turn your work back over, and then you're going to do 3 double crochet into this chain 3 you just slip stitched over this part. Just like that. Then you're going to slip stitch to the top and that chain 3 space, chain 3, and then do 3 more double crochet in that same chain 3 space. Okay, and you're going to chain 6, and do another little block, and it looks like that. You're going to turn this over and facing that way, and then in this chain 3 space right here, slip stitch, chain 3, and do 3 double crochet to work our way back to the other side. Slip stitch to this one, chain 3, do 3 more double, and then you're going to slip stitch into this space of this square on this one. Then you're going to turn your work over, and you're going to slip stitch across the 3 double crochets and into that chain 3 space. Then chain 3 and do 3 double crochet into that chain 3 space. Go over to the next top chain 3 space, slip stitch, chain 3, and do 3 double crochet. Slip stitch to the top of the last chain 3 space, turn your work over and slip stitch into the top of the double crochets, all 3 of them, and I go through both loops on each stitch. And into that chain 3 space, chain 3, do come on. There we go. Do 3 double crochet into that chain 3 space, and then slip stitch it to this chain 3 space right next to it. Turn your work, slip stitch back across, and into the chain 3 space. And now you have 2 excuse me, 2 squares that you made using the join as you go method. Now, if you're making a blanket like I am, my Pikachu blanket for my son, I made 37 of these small squares. You're gonna want an odd number of squares to keep being able to build up this way for your rows, going back and forth, back and forth. Now I'm going to make my 3rd square. And with this one I did chain 6, but you can also do it this way. You can also go chain 3, come over into this space, slip stitch, chain 3, and turn, and then do 3 double crochet in that chain 3 you just slip stitched across there. And then you can chain 6, make a 2nd block, and it'll look like that. Sorry, I'm trying to get some yarn out. Okay, then you're going to flip this up, and you're going to slip stitch to this chain 3, and then you're going to chain 3 and do 3 double crochet. Then you're going to slip stitch this square to this space. Then you're going to chain 3, and this part kind of tries to hide on you. But there's your chain 3 space. You're going to slip stitch to that space. Then you're going to chain 3 again and turn your work over. And then you're going to do 3 double crochet into that chain 3 you just slip stitched across there before you turned your work. Slip stitch to this one, and this will be your last increase row for this square. Chain 3, 3 double, slip stitch into that space, chain 3, and do 3 double. Then you're going to turn your work to start to decrease, and I'm going in this, the yarn's coming out of that V, but I'm going to go in under to go through 2, both loops, slip stitch it into there, across the next one, across the next one, and then into the chain 3 space, chain 3, and then do 3 double, slip stitch it to this space, chain 3, 3 doubles, and then slip stitch it to this one. Turn your work over, slip stitch across your 3 doubles, chain 3, three doubles, and you're going to close your square by slip stitching to the chain 3 space of that one right next to it. Turn your work and slip stitch across those doubles. And into the chain 3 space. And there is 3 squares now. The yarn's being a little bit finicky, but I promise you as you go along it straightens out, and it will be straight. But in the next video I'm going to show you the first row of making your second on top of this one. The reason why you want to have an odd number of squares is that if you don't, you'll come out into the center over here at the end of your square, and you always want to be in the corner, not in the center of 2 squares. I'll show you that in the next video, but I will be right back to show you how to do the next step.